I'm Lisa Pickering, and welcome to CITV's Press Talk. Here's your most recent news and information from the government of Bermuda.
It's my great pleasure to welcome you to the official press conference of the Louis Vuitton America's Cup Qualifiers. Now, the significance of this moment cannot be understated. After years of preparation, this weekend, the first races for the 35th America's Cup will begin in the Cup's newest home, Bermuda. Now, ahead of us lie the Louis Vuitton America's Cup Qualifiers, and all 6 competing teams will be sailing in that. This is basically the first stage of the competition here in Bermuda in the build-up to the America's Cup match presented by Louis Vuitton. At stake, the oldest trophy in all of international sports, sailing's most coveted prize. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the oldest trophy in all of international sports, the America's Cup. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce to you the competing helmsmen from these 6 international America's Cup teams. Representing Groupama Team France, please welcome multiple world champion and record holder, Volvo Ocean Race winner, and former America's Cup winning coach, the helmsman and skipper of Groupama Team France, Frank Camas. Representing SoftBank Team Japan, please welcome 2-time Louis Vuitton Cup and former America's Cup winner, the CEO, skipper, and helmsman of SoftBank Team Japan, Dean Barker. Representing Artemis Racing from Sweden, please welcome a 4-time 49er world champion and Olympic gold and silver medal winner, the helmsman of Artemis Racing, Nathan Outeridge. Representing Emirates Team New Zealand, please welcome Olympic gold and silver medalist. He's won 13 world championships, the helmsman of Emirates Team New Zealand, Peter Burley. And now representing Great Britain, please welcome the most successful Olympic sailor of all time. He's also an America's Cup winning tactician, the team principal, skipper, and helmsman of Land Rover BAR, Sir Ben Ainslie. And finally, representing the defender of the 35th America's Cup, the youngest helmsman to have ever won the Cup and the man at the helm of that dramatic comeback in 2013. He's looking to lead his team here in Bermuda to a 3-peat win of the America's Cup. Please welcome the skipper and helmsman of Oracle Team USA, Jimmy Spithill. Gentlemen, welcome. Frank, we begin with you. Now, in U.S. football, we have a saying, on any given Sunday, any team can win. And we know that your team can win races. So what can we expect from you and Groupama Team France here in this event?
Hi, everybody. As you said, everything is possible in the race. The race didn't start yet, so we like the fight, and we put all our energy on the fight. We are very proud to race against these very best team in the world, and our boat is perform well. So I think we can use that. It's not manageable. Sometimes it's hard to manage, but I like the race, and I'm very exciting to start the race.
Thank you, Frank. Good luck in the races. And now we move to your right to Dean Barker. Now, Dean, as the most experienced America's Cup finalist here, you know the relentless glare of the spotlight. How great is the pressure on all of these helmsmen, and on particularly you, to try and win the Cup?
Yeah, thanks, Tucker. I'm pleased you didn't call me old, but it's yeah. I think everyone probably feels different, or feels the pressure in different ways, and it's just how you deal with it with your within the team and yourself personally. But it's we're obviously very excited to be here and getting stuck into the racing. So looking forward to getting into it.
All right, thank you, Dean. And moving to you, Nathan. Now, to be fair, Nathan, you guys seem to have had a go big or go home approach to the Louis Vuitton America's Cup World Series if we look at the scores. And essentially, we're calling you the gamblers of the competition based on the past. However, you've been doing really well in practice. So what's your philosophy, your team's philosophy now as we look to these races?
Morning, Tucker. I think we've had as you said, a bit of an up and down World Series event, and I think that's been good for our team to find the right, way to approach the America's Cup races. It's very different going from fleet racing to match racing, so we're looking forward to the racing beginning. We've enjoyed all the practice racing recently, and we're pretty happy with how the boat's going. Everyone here's been doing a great job over the last few months, and I think all the teams are pretty excited to get into it. But we're just happy for the racing to begin, and I think in match racing you do have to go big or go home, so we're going to doing everything we can to win the races, to get through the rounds, to eventually get to the match.
Okay, Nathan, good luck to you and your team going big here in Bermuda. And now we move to Peter Burling. And Peter, at 26 years old, you are the youngest helmsman in this competition. Now, how concerned are you, looking at these other 5 competitors who have certainly been around this game, that they may have more experience than you, particularly in the America's Cup?
Yeah, good morning, Tucker. I think I'm pretty excited about it, as is our whole team, to be honest. And, we're a bunch of really young guys that are, really enthusiastic and, on a pretty steep learning curve. And I think that is something that we do bring to the table, is that we learn and adapt really, really fast. And it is something that these boats are different and evolving every day. And that's something that you do have to learn and keep on that steep part of the slope to, keep ahead of the game. And we feel like we're on a pretty steep part of the slope right now, but we're also in really good shape to get out there and start racing.
Thank you, Peter. Sir Ben, you perhaps know better than anyone that there is no second in this competition. You're used to winning. Do you believe that the British Challenge will emerge victorious this time in this competition?
Yeah, well, of course we believe we can win this competition. We wouldn't be sitting here now. I wouldn't be sitting here now, and the team wouldn't be working as hard as they have been. So yeah, we respect our competition massively. This is an incredibly tough event to win, but yeah, we believe we can do it.
Thank you, Ben. Good luck to you and your team. And finally, to the defender, Jimmy Spithill. Jimmy, this is a big moment for your team. This is a big moment for Bermuda. Paint the picture for us, for the fans, and for everybody watching around the world. What can we expect here over the next month of racing on Great Sound?
I think you'll see the fastest boats on water, the best sailors, best athletes in the world, and it'll be incredible. There'll be no doubt in my mind this will be a defining chapter in America's Cup, and be known as the Foiling America's Cup.
Thank you, Jimmy. Frank, speaking of design, I know design has been a major part of a lot of the wins in your successful sailing career. You're a designer yourself. So does Groupama Team France have the ability to debut perhaps a technical surprise in this America's Cup and surprise the rest of us?
I'm not sure if we have a secret, so it's a good timing to tell you, but for sure we work a lot in all the details of the boat. I think we did a very good innovation in a small part, but we will see in the global speed of the boat. I think sometimes we are fast. This is good because we have only 2 years to work on this boat, and the design team did a very good job, and the technical team also, because it's a long process to improve and to set up well the boat. I think we gain a lot of speed in the last 2 months, and for sure we miss 2 months to be our best, but we are already very happy to be where we are now.
Thank you, Frank. Bonne chance to you and your team in the competition. Now, moving to Dean Barker, and Dean, I apologize. We're going to get a bit personal here. How much has seeing the America's Cup ripped from your grasp in the 34th Cup in San Francisco fueled your desire to beat Jimmy Spithill and win the Cup again?
Well, for us, and certainly for SoftBank Team Japan, we're here to win, and there's obviously some very strong competition to overcome, but it's one step at a time. There's the Challenger Selection Series, which is going to be incredibly tough, and we're very focused on that part of it before we worry about the next part.
Thank you, Dean. And over to Nathan again. Now, Nathan, to be fair, you guys are one of the quickest teams consistently in all the practice racing that we've seen. So do you feel that Artemis Racing has a bit of a target on their back going into the competition?
No, I honestly don't. I think that the racing's been super close in all the practice, and I think what I've been amazed at, and we've all been amazed at, is how much better every team gets, not just every practice series, but every day. And the level of improvement, as Pete was saying, has been huge. And we're obviously happy with how we're going. We know we've got plenty of work to go still. And, even though we've been winning a lot of races, they've been very close. And as we saw even out there the other day, one missed tack is the difference between winning and losing. And it's going to be all on just to get through the Challenger Series to get to the final. So, I think every team up here has a target on their back, and I look left and right of me and see the wealth of experience in the America's Cup, and I have a feeling the target's more on their back, is my thought anyway.
So the buck has been passed, gentlemen. Thank you, Nathan. And Peter, not to add any more stress to getting ready for this campaign, but to be fair, the hopes and dreams of all of New Zealand rests on your shoulders. How heavy is the weight of their expectations, your entire nation desperate to bring the Cup back to New Zealand again?
Yeah, well, I think it makes us incredibly proud to be from New Zealand, and, as a New Zealander, a place I've grown up and lived in my whole life, and, really love being from them and representing them. And it's something that, gives us a great deal of pride and, drive to keep going forward and keep pushing to make the boat better, keep pushing to make the boat faster, and also just gives us that determination, when we do go through the tough times to pull ahead. And it's something that I don't think many of the other countries here have that support from back home, and we have put them through a bit of a roller coaster at times, but no, that definitely, it is amazing the support we do get from back home, and that's why we're here and that's why we're racing.
Thank you, Peter. Ben, to be fair, off the water, it seems that all of these teams, all of the sailors here in Bermuda seem to get along, quite well. But then when you head out on the water, something changes. And looking to your right, your former teammate, Jimmy Spithill, when you look him in the eye, how badly do you want to beat him on this race course?
Well, actually, it's all of the teams are here racing against each other, and I think, as Nathan said, the Challenger Series is going to be, to get through that is, tough enough, and it would be a very nice problem to have, to take on Oracle Team USA in the final. That's the goal for all of us.
Thank you, Ben. And Jimmy, over to you. Now, you have won this trophy twice. Could the pressure perhaps wane a little bit on you? How do you remain laser focused to dominate these competitors one more time?
I think that certainly from what I've seen inside the team, the hunger has only become stronger, and somewhat of the obsession as well. We're even more obsessed with this. Just seeing the amount of commitment and that sort of all-in attitude from the entire team, it really builds the motivation personally, and you all kind of feed off that. And in our minds, what's done in the history is done. It's about this America's Cup, and that's what we've all been working towards. And already, our shore team, the guys in the shed, they've, as the guys have said, the development curve is very, very steep, and we've been pushing that, and no doubt that'll go the entire way to the last race of the Cup.
All right, well, Jimmy, good luck in defending what would be a three-peat win of the America's Cup. Now, one thing that we know for sure, whoever wins this competition in the eyes of the world will have definitely earned it. Gentlemen, thank you and good luck.
There is no second.
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 And now it's my great pleasure to introduce to you Tom Webb, and he will moderate the Q&A session, after which we will have a photo op. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As Tucker said, we're now going to switch into the question and answer session of this press conference. I'm going to ask members of the media present here who would like to ask any of our helmsmen a question to please stand up, state the name and the name of your publication before your question, and then you can ask. We're going to ask for one question at a time. So I will direct this from here. Anybody who would like to ask the first question, please put your hand up. And then we will move into the Q&A session. Yes, please, if you'd like to stand up, name and publication, please.
Rebecca Wright, Television New Zealand. I have a question for Jimmy Spittle. Jimmy, we've seen a bike pedestal at the back of your boat during training. Do you think the Kiwis have got it right there?
I think the Swedes may have got it somewhat right 40 years ago when they tried it. It's something we've certainly looked at. I think all of the teams up here have looked at the bikes. It's something, to be quite honest, every single campaign, the bike question comes up. We're certainly looking at somewhat of a hybrid system, a combination of both. And, we're going to keep developing and see how it sets up. So we'll just have to see how it goes in the competition.
So you will be using that bike in racing?
You'll just have to wait and see.
Thank you. Next question. Todd, would you like to stand up, state your name and publication, please? Thank you.
Todd Nile, Radio New Zealand. Jimmy, can we dispose of one of those conspiracy theory questions with the defender for the first time racing challenges? Will you be racing every race to win, or do you use the opportunity to perhaps manage the outcome of the Challenger Series?
Well, first of all, it's great to see all your Kiwi media back here in the press conference. I've got to say I've missed you guys, and I'm certainly looking forward to the days ahead. But yeah, look, we are approaching the qualifying series to win, and that's our goal. Reason for that is there's a bonus point up for grabs. If we can finish these 2 round robins ahead, we get to start the America's Cup effectively with a bonus point. If the challenger comes through and is able to win the qualifiers and they come through to the match, same deal. They get a bonus point. So clearly there is something here worth fighting for, and we will approach every single race to win.
Thank you. Next question, please. Anybody would like to ask a question of the helmsman? Okay, I think that... Oh, sorry, yes, please, again. Thank you.
Dean, a question for you. Are you looking forward to taking on Team New Zealand?
No, it's going to be good. There's obviously plenty of good teams, and we've raced Team New Zealand already once in one of the practice races. There's obviously going to be some pretty good matchups out there.
Todd again, would you like to take the next question? Thank you.
Todd Nile, Radio New Zealand. Dean, in your team's relationship with Oracle, do you have everything that they've got, or do they keep a few things to themselves in terms of technology?
You'd have to ask Jimmy that, I think.
To your knowledge?
It's been a fantastic relationship, and one that's allowed a new team to enter the America's Cup. So, SoftBank Team Japan is a small group, and without the ability to share design with a strong team like Oracle Team USA, we wouldn't be here, and Japan wouldn't be back in the America's Cup. So, the relationships work well. I think it's a very good model for the future. As far as I'm aware, you might want to check in with Jimmy, but we've had access, and just to be clear as well, we've made decisions which are different to what they have as well. So, while we've got access to information, we can still obviously do other things ourselves.
Jimmy, can I check with you? Have they got everything you've got?
For the moment, yeah. See what happens later on. No, look, as Dean said, it's been a great relationship. I mean, Team New Zealand really started this all during the last campaign with Luna Rossa. To be quite honest, I don't think they did that great a job of it. I think this time, you look at the relationship between Japan and ourselves, it's been really good. A lot of learning, a lot of development, and it is the way forwards. You look at other sports, that's what they do. Have more than one car in the race, and I think this is the future model.
Okay, thank you. If anybody has any other questions, shout now or forever hold. Yes, please, Luca.
Luca Bontempelli, La Gazzetta dello Sport. For each skippers possibly, I would like to, forgetting your own team, who you think is the fastest cat on the water right now?
Let's start that question with Sir Ben.
Thanks very much. Well, I think the defender are in the hot seat. They're in the final. They've got the partnership with Japan. They get to race in the qualifying round, so it's a pretty well negotiated event, and for sure they're the favourites.
Thank you, Nathan. Do you want to take that, please?
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think between Japan and Oracle, their boats from the outside look practically identical. Every lineup we've seen between the two of them, they're super fast, but the one thing is that Oracle will be in the final, and they've been sailing the boat very well, so we think they're obviously the team to beat, not just in the match but in the Challenger Series too.
Thank you. Dean, any comments on that?
Yeah, it's always hard to say, isn't it? Everyone seems to have their moments, and it's going to be interesting as we get into the series.
Thank you. Frank?
Hard to say. I think all are fast today, but it's depending of the wind range for sure.
Okay. Thank you. Jimmy?
Yeah, as of today, I put Artemis, Japan and Team New Zealand as the strongest challengers as of today. Now that can obviously change, but that's what I think sitting here.
Thank you, Peter. Strongest challenger?
Yeah, well, I think that's part of the fun of sport, and I think if there's one thing that's been shown over the last couple of days, it's whoever goes out there and sails the best yacht race will probably win that yacht race. And for us, it's just about going out there and doing that. And from a lot of the guys in our team, we come from a bit more of a one design background, and I think we're really excited about that challenge. And our shore team's put us in a really good spot to be able to go there and out there and throw the boat around and give it hell.
Thank you. Chris Clary?
This is for Jimmy, Chris Clary, New York Times. Jimmy, just talk about yourself. You mentioned the team, your level of hunger, what's still driving you in this, and you have won it a couple times already. How do you really duplicate that kind of level of enthusiasm and passion for it?
Well, it's a team effort. There's no question about it, and you have to have great people. And one of the coolest things about this game is it's incredibly tough, but you get to learn a lot, and individually you learn a lot. And for me, it's just been surrounded by great people on and off the water. It's you have the feeling you don't want to let your mates down, your teammates down, and that's I think what drives everyone inside the team at Oracle Team USA. And that's from the top all the way down through the bottom. It's a very good culture, and good times and bad, the team's going to stick together.
Perfect, thank you. Any other questions, please? Todd, another question. Thank you.
Todd Nile, Radio New Zealand. Ben, among the great unwashed out here, there are people saying that during these practice sessions, your boat hasn't kind of looked as good as they would expect it to be. How are you feeling?
Yeah, well, we're feeling good about starting the competition, as we talked about. We've struggled for straight line speed in some of the practice races in some of the conditions, and that's something we're working very hard to rectify. And that's part of the game. We saw in the last Cup just how quickly the competition can change. And for all of the teams, I know that they're developing as hard as they can through the competition, and that's the same for us. So we're pushing incredibly hard to be there and be super fast.
Thank you. Please, name and public.
Hi, good afternoon. Zoe Mulholland from the City of Hamilton. I'd like to ask Jimmy and Nathan and Dean, what do you think your greatest advantage going into this Cup is with the fact that you've been here, made Bermuda your home, since the Cup was announced coming to Bermuda? What do you think is your greatest advantage over your fellow skippers who have just come?
I'm happy to start. We've obviously been here for over a year and a half now, and we're pretty familiar with the environment. And I think that having the whole team being based here for a year and a half has meant that everyone's settled in, not just the sailors, but the whole shore team and support team, and their families have been based here and integrated into the island. And we feel that going into racing, that keeps everyone relaxed. And it's just going about business on every single day. We know from doing all the World Series events and the travel involved how difficult competitions can be. And so having a familiar environment both on and off the water, I think makes everyone in the team feel comfortable. And you know, we've got to experience all the weather conditions that Bermuda can offer. And as we can see with the forecast, it's very variable out here, so we feel like we're pretty ready for whatever Bermuda throws at us.
Thank you. Dean?
Yeah, well, I sort of agree with what Nate said. It's Bermuda's our home. It's where we've been for really the last nearly 2 years for a lot of us, and the reception that we've had since we've been here to be made to feel at home, to turn this into a environment where we can put a team together from basically nothing, to be able to go out and race against these other established teams. It's been phenomenal. So to be able to come to work each day, I can assure you it's not too much of a hardship here. With the conditions that you get and the beautiful scenery, and the sailing venue that we've got out here at the Great Sound is just, it couldn't be better for these boats. So we get a good variety of conditions, and the opportunity to have close access to a race course. It's hard to find a better place to go sailing.
Thank you. Jimmy?
Yeah, look, I mean, it was a strategic decision for us to set up here, be the first team set up, lay the foundations early. You can't shortcut those hours on the water you spend at the race venue. On the flip side too, and I think for all of you that have just arrived into Bermuda, it is one of the most beautiful places in the world. And as you've seen with Bermudans, they're very, very friendly, very hospitable, and obviously extremely proud of the island they've had here. And I think any place or venue we go to, it's always the people that make it, and in this case, Bermuda's top level. So for us, there's also extra motivation to be really the nominated home team, as well as representing the United States is a double win for us, and to have all of them cheering for us is huge. We want to really get out there and perform well, on behalf of them, to make them proud, and I think it will make a difference, the fact that we get the hometown support here, as well as the United States.
Perfect, thank you. Unless there's any other questions, we do have one more. Talbot.
I'm Talbot Wilson with the Royal Gazette. There have been crashes here, there have been capsizes, crew overboard. What do you expect when the racing really gets close?
Should we go one by one? Frank, start with you. What do you expect to happen when the racing gets close, bearing in mind we've already had crashes and incidents on the water?
Yeah, it's always possible on this kind of boat. It's hard to manage, and when we are very close, especially in the start area, because there is not enough room to do what we want. So sometimes we are out of the edge, and it's hard to stay in the good shape.
Dean?
I'm sure it's not going to get less. Interesting that there's been accusations of deliberate damage out there, but it's I think we're going to see obviously as the people are pushing the boats harder and harder, it's going to get closer and closer. So it's going to be plenty of action.
Two helmsmen involved in a clash recently. Peter, do you want to pick up on that point?
Yeah, well, I think everyone's seen how close the racing is getting, and how good all these teams here are getting at handling their boats, and getting that nth degree out of their equipment, and it's something that's just going to keep getting tighter and tighter. You saw exactly the same in the last America's Cup, where the racing kept getting tighter and tighter as the competition went on, and as everyone learns how hard they can push these boats and what is achievable. And I think it's something that most people will ease into it a little bit and probably just get straight into it, actually, to be honest, and we'll see how it goes. But I think that's all part of sport. Everyone's going to have parts of this event where they have to do well and have to win races, and there's a lot on the line, so everyone's going to be pushing hard.
Ben, do you want to pick up on that?
Yeah, I think it's fascinating. I think these boats, this race course, these crews, it's all on out there, and it's just going to make for an incredible spectacle. So bring it on.
You've been watching Press Talk on CITV. Join us next time for all your government news and information. I'm Lisa Pickering.
This is CITV, the Government of Bermuda Television.